Unless you can prove that God created the world, you have until tomorrow to redo your assignment on evolution. Do I need to remind you, Thomas? The teacher chooses the assignment, the student does the work.
But Mrs. Smith, evolution is just a theory that can't even be proven.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, so is creation. Imagine that. The vast oceans and forests created in just 1 week. Or man being made from dust. Ridiculous. Good day, Thomas. The assignment is evolution. Thank you.
Ladies, enjoy. Okay, bye. Why the sad face, my friend?
It's nothing.
You like art?
Yeah. But I've never seen you here before. Are you the artist?
I am, but not many people notice me. Art? That they notice. So I pour myself into my creations. You didn't notice me till you saw my art.
Sorry about that. Well, thanks. I do like your art, though.
Thank you. Looking for this? No wonder you're looking sad. Love of God's artistry. Being confined to an assignment on evolution.
Wait, how did you know?
I saw it on your face. I also saw it on the paper. So evolution, huh? Yeah. I've seen that debate over the years. George, by the way.
Thomas.
Let me help you, Thomas. I mean, after all, we art lovers need to stick together, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to help people see what you see. Try these on.
What are these?
The virtual reality goggles. You'll see a video playing 360 degrees around you. It'll be like you're there. Pass up.
I don't know. My bus will be coming in a few minutes.
It'll only take a few moments. And it could help you with your assignment.
Okay.
Great. But also remember, an artist's heart can be seen in his art.
Okay.
Run! 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 As fast as you can!
Ah!
Hello, Thomas. Want to see the great artist's love in the forest ecosystem? Well, nature and revelation alike testify of his love.
Okay, but why did you tell me to run? You scared me half to death.
No, not to death, but to life. The trees needed some of your carbon dioxide, and you needed some oxygen. When the great designer designs something, there's benefit on both sides. It's called symbiosis. The best scientists would call it mutualism. But since most people know it as symbiosis, let's go with it. Anyway, that's how he designs. And not just here in the forest, but also in the oceans.
Ah!
Oh, he won't bite. You'll get the ocean tour in a few minutes, but take a quick preview of the designer's art in the human body. And that's on the tour as well. There's so much more. But let's start right here within this forest. Look over there. Forests cover 31% of the world's land surface. 3 trillion trees are found from the tropics, like the Amazon River basin in Brazil, through temperate regions to the northern forests of Canada, Siberia, and Scandinavia. Forests are home to more than 10 million different species, complex webs of plants, animals, fungi, and bacteria. 80% of the world's terrestrial biodiversity exists in forests. Symbiosis occurs everywhere in forests. Foresters speak of 5 broad types of symbiosis. The one we'll focus on is mutualism. Mutualism is when 2 species both benefit from each other. We really see the heart of the creator in this type of symbiotic relationship. For example, squirrels benefit from oak trees in 2 ways. They get protection from predators for their nests, and they eat acorns, seeds of the oak tree. Squirrels also bury some acorns to dig up and eat later. Squirrels don't have the best memories, so they tend to forget where the buried acorns are. Uneaten acorns sprout and create oak seedlings. Tree seeds are dispersed like this by many mammals and birds, helping forest trees to reproduce and spread naturally. Can you see the love in that? Thomas, you've heard of the World Wide Web, right? What about the Wood Wide Web? Believe it or not, it is under your feet right now. Trees may look like these large solitary timbers, but it turns out that trees and plants are very much connected and communicate, trading and sharing food resources through a network of fungi in and around their roots. The fungi supply the trees with nutrients, and in return, they receive sugars. One of the best examples is how older trees, known as mother trees, will use this network to support younger trees that get little to no sun, supplying them with sugars to increase their chances of survival. He is quite a loving artist, isn't he? He cares even about the little seedlings and their survival. Well, Thomas, take a deep breath and get ready for the next adventure. Next time, breathe deeply and fill the diaphragm. Much better in distributing oxygen.
Where are we now?
The human body. Amazing.
Wow.
Nature and revelation alike testify of his love, and it doesn't get much better than inside the human body.
Wait a minute. That's the second time you've said that.
What?
Nature and revelation alike testify. I get nature, but what revelation are you talking about?
Oh, sorry about that. The Bible. You find the Creator's love in the Bible and in nature, like here inside the human body. The Bible says that God breathed into man his breath, and we became a living soul. That is how the first man began, with breath from God's own mouth. Let's take a look at how the breath of life works now. Without thinking about it, we automatically take about 23,000 breaths in a single day, totaling 3,000 gallons of air every day. That's well over 8 million breaths per year. Just do the math. Amazing. With each breath, the air gets warmed, moistened, and cleansed. You would never think that the trees we just talked about are good for our blood, and the health of every organ in the body. But the trees play a role in the oxygen we receive that is then cleansed by an incredible process in the lungs, which expel carbon dioxide from the body. We don't need it, but the trees love it. In exchange, we get oxygen-rich blood, which is first delivered to the organs that need it most, particularly the heart muscle and the brain. No coincidence. We have a master designer who thinks and feels, and he wants our hearts and minds strong and clear, so we think and feel too. The body is made up of organ systems, tissues and cells that must communicate with each other to function as a whole. Like the trees, the organs and systems of the body are in constant communication. The blood is the primary vehicle that enables this communication. As the scripture says, the life of the flesh truly is in the blood. A heart that loves will also protect. Wouldn't you agree, Thomas? There is something the Creator designed that you'll find just as remarkable. It's called the immune system. The immune system is responsible for defending against the intrusion of agents that could cause infections, infestations, inflammation, or disease. It is extraordinary that the entire system is mobilized to assist with the healing of any ailing part of the body. Chemical signals and cell types comprise our immune system, such as our white blood cells. They float around, always on duty. They're called leukocytes. This prickly ball is not something pathogens, aka germs, want to mess with. There is no place in the human body where the Creator's love is more visible than here, where it all begins. Most organs and external body structures are developed between the 3rd and 10th week after fertilization. First formed are the 3 germ layers, the ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Now these are germs of a whole different sort. Each one is responsible for developing some part of a child while in the womb. But the ectoderm has an interesting role. It escorts other cells to their final destination. When the selfless task of escorting and forming half of our nerve cells is complete, they simply die at birth. Sacrificial love at the very start of life. Isn't creation fascinating? Now, take a really deep breath.
Why?
You'll find out. Nature and revelation alike testify of his love, even underwater.
Wow.
Oh, you have yet to be wowed. This is some of his best artwork. Most of the ocean floor is empty, cold, and quiet, with only a few solitary animals walking or swimming around in the dark. But some places under the sea are crowded with life. Look around. Welcome to the Coral Reef. Because of their astonishing beauty and variety of colors, coral reefs are called the gardens of the sea. But unlike land gardens, the majority of the brightly colorful creatures at the reef are not plants, but animals. Coral reefs occupy less than 0.1% of the ocean area, but they contain more than 25% of the marine species. Let's take a quick look at the coral polyps and their relationship with the reef. Each of the coral polyps has microscopic algae called zooxanthellae living inside its body. The polyps and the zooxanthellae constantly help each other and build the reef together. It is common knowledge that big fish eat little fish, but the saying does not apply to the famous coral reef cleaning stations. Here, little fish like wrasse make a living by serving big fish and other marine species. The tiny colorful wrasse gets its meal by removing parasites, dead cells and mucus from the skin of larger fish. Sometimes they go inside the gills and even in and out of a scary mouth full of sharp teeth, but there is no real danger here. The client is very thankful for the cleaner's beauty treatment and would never eat its little friends. Another type of animal which often participates in underwater symbiotic relationships are anemones. Anemones belong to the same animal group as corals and jellyfish, and they look like coral polyps, only larger. Anemones have many stingy tentacles that they use to defend themselves and to catch little prey. You would think that being poisonous would make it quite difficult for an anemone to make friends, but in fact there are several animals that love to associate with them. One of the best known is the clownfish. Clownfish are immune to the anemone toxins, so they get to live surrounded by its tentacles without suffering any harm. On the contrary, they are quite happy because the anemone protects them from predators. Finally, symbiotic relationships prevail under the sea, both in the coral reefs and in the open ocean. Many marine species, such as sea turtles, whales, and sharks, travel long distances in search for food or a suitable place for reproduction. In most of their trips, they carry some hitchhikers along. Sea turtle carapaces are often inhabited by barnacles, and remoras attach to the skin of whale sharks with a special dorsal fin that functions as a strong suction cup. By riding along, remoras obtain several benefits, such as free transportation and scraps of food. In most cases, the host also benefits from the relationship because the remora removes parasites from its skin, keeping it clean and healthy. The message is obvious. The ocean is full of wonderful friendships. Anywhere we look, we find gorgeous creatures of different species working together and helping each other, composing an amazing landscape of beauty and love. Isn't that the work of the greatest artist of the universe?
I am convinced that there is a God, who is an artist, and his heart can be seen throughout his creation. Truly, nature and revelation alike testify of God's love. Therefore, Mr. Smith, I will not be doing my paper on evolution's theory, but on God's reality.